Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Comics Illustrator Ron Friends, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
All right, kids, welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales. We've been teasing this one for a while, but we're here. First part, week one of our 2-week ROM special in celebration of the Romnibus coming out.
Romnibus.
Yes, volume 1. I think it's going to be 3, they said.
Yeah, it looks like there's going to be 3 in total.
So yes, I am Phil. Join me as always. It's that metallic Al himself.
Yes, dusting off the old rocket pods and flying back into action.
It's so funny because it's like what the series was 75 issues, the Marvel ROM series.
Yep.
And then I guess there was 4 annuals. I didn't know that.
4 annuals. Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, Quasar had none. Quasar never got an annual. I'm like, ROM got 4.
Yeah.
Which just surprised me because I'm just like, because it's like the based off a toy and stuff. I'm like, I don't think the Marvel Transformers got an annual. Did G.I. Joe ever get an annual? I don't think.
They got some specials like some like yearbook stuff. Do you remember those?
Yeah,
and
I did or
they
like
weren't official annuals, but they were kind of along the same lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Transformers ever got any of that stuff, and ROM's kind of thematic sibling, I guess you could say, for lack of a better term, the Micronauts.
Oh.
Also went on for quite a while, but they didn't get the annuals, or at least I don't think so. The big exposure that ROM got. Well, yeah, ROM was hugely popular for many years in the 80s.
Oh Lord, hello Russell. Ground control to Major ROM.
Hey Russell, I love that David Bowie reference for the win.
But yeah, I mean, maybe because I don't know, because ROM had like the least amount of backstory because he's basically just a toy. Like I was reading this, like I learned some of this from the introduction to this omnibus. Like, did you read that? Or it's just like, yeah, it's like basically he was like the only toy pretty much in the line, and
yes,
and there wasn't a lot of backstory, so the comic creators got to really play with, basically go where they wanted to go for a lot of that.
It was a blank slate. Yeah, Bill Mantlo could do pretty much whatever he wanted with the story, as long as it fit within the guidelines of what they were doing. Yeah,
and of course Jim Shooter had to set things up. Because I don't know if that was extra money in his pocket, because I believe with the toys now, I think that's because didn't Shooter write the first Secret Wars? I'm pretty sure that's why.
Oh yes, and the second one too, didn't he? Yeah,
but I just think because I don't know if there was like a deal with the toys instead, because with the first one there were toys, so it was just damn it. I still wish I had his Secret Wars figures.
Well, me too.
All those shields and all. I wish
the holographic shields, yeah,
which made no sense, but beyond Captain America.
I know. That's so funny. I still wish that I had an actual ROM figure. I never, in all these years, have been able to get my hands on a ROM figure. But
I've never had one. I never came across one in the wild, because that was early. What was that? 79?
79, I think. Yeah. Or 78, maybe even. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was 1, so no one was giving me a ROM figure, I guess.
Yeah. I think I first was introduced to ROM in like 84 or 85. So I would have been like 6 or 7, and I just thought it was so cool. Like, it was one of the first comic books that really grabbed me. I was like, ooh, I want to collect more of this and read more of this.
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, this Romnibus, this is the first time I've read ROM outside of, if he made like a guest appearance in someone else's book or something. Yeah,
And
I mean,
he did make several guest appearances
yeah.
too. Yeah.
I never came across Rom in the 80s unless it was like an ad in like a comic or something. Yeah, that was.
Mhm. Well, the thing is, they never reprinted it.
Well, yeah, they couldn't
It
because
was
once Marvel lost the rights and stuff.
right. So the only way you could read it would be from the back issues, and if we couldn't find them, then that was all. Yeah.
Because I was looking to see, I wonder if they were going to put them on the app. And last I looked, I don't think, but I wonder if that's just, because, if they're going to once again lose the rights at some point, they're just like, yeah, it's probably easier just to not do it on the app instead of just putting them all on there, than having to scrub the app once the
Right.
is on. And
Put all that work into it a second time. Yeah, and it could be too that maybe they want to wait until the omnibus has been out for a little while before they
oh yeah, true.
make it all available digitally so that people will check that out, which is definitely a worthwhile purchase. Anybody listening who is even a casual ROM fan, definitely check out the Romnibus.
Yeah, I read these issues for this episode, and then I haven't finished all the 4 for next episode. I've started. I know I read 5. Am I on the 6? But yeah, so I'm interested to see where this goes, and especially when it gets to the greater Marvel universe.
Yes, when we start to branch out with the X-Men and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun guest appearances ahead with Rom.
At some point, I'm sure it's probably closer towards the end. Does he have an encounter? Yeah. Oh yeah. He showed up in the Hulk's book, right?
Yes. I
Yeah.
can't remember what issue that was, but
Wasn't it like in the 290s somewhere?
I think so. I
Yeah.
just remember the cover was a Bill Sienkiewicz one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a good one to cover on Gamma Charge someday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
And doesn't Rick Jones hang out with him eventually?
He does.
Yeah.
Yes, towards the end of this series, Rick Jones is actually, I guess you could say, like as close of a companion to Rom as he was in the Hulk and Captain Marvel days.
I was gonna say it's the one like we're just like, oh hey, who can we put in this book? It was like a Marvel. I know Rick Jones. He hangs out with aliens. Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen enough weird crap to think that this is nothing strange whatsoever.
He hangs out with monsters, superheroes, and aliens. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
All right. So, but yes, kids, the Romnibus is finally out. I think it was delayed like at least a week or something.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And did you get the George Perez cover? You said
I have. It hasn't arrived yet. It's.
okay.
I think it's going to be here next Wednesday.
But that's the one you ordered.
That's the one I ordered. Yeah.
Nice. But yes, I guess my dear wife Danielle pre-ordered for me for around Christmas time. So yes,
look at that.
Yeah, she got me the Frank Miller cover.
Yes. I love that cover. Yeah, that's the reproduction of the first issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, and in true
So
Frank
cool.
Miller fashion, this thing's heavy. You could smack a bitch with this.
You could. Yeah, all the omnibuses are pretty deadly, but I can see the Romnibus doing some damage in particular.
Yes. Oh yes. Wasn't that after left Marvel Wrestle? He says, yeah, one time Rom, Micronauts, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Visionaries, and Mask were all the same.
Yes.
They're kind of fitting for our collection of shows. Yes.
I agree. Yeah, I still have to go back and read all that stuff.
God,
I know there was a big crossover with all that. I have to go back and read that.
I wonder if there's anywhere to watch Mask. I haven't watched Mask since I was a kid.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be great to check out. And Visionaries.
Yeah, I'm never a big Visionaries, but yeah, I know. Like I was in the Mask for a while there. Had some of the toys.
Nice. Yeah, those were all cool.
And Transformers and G.I. Joe. Oh, I did this on Sector 2814 earlier when Will and I were recording today. Yes, we are recording on February 3rd. So happy birthday to Batman's #1 fan.
Batman.
Oh, yes.
Character.
That's right. Happy birthday, Ray.
You're 2 months older than me, so suck it. That's right, kids. The same year brought you me and Ray. You're welcome.
I love that. Yeah. 2 months apart.
Yep, he's 2 months older. Yeah, because mine's April 1st, isn't it? So it's almost 2 months
Yeah,
to the day, almost.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. So have we blown enough time? Should we get to these
What do you
issues?
think? Yeah, what do you think? This is your first time reading these too,
Yes,
right?
these were
Okay.
this was my first time reading
Yeah.
these ROM issues. So
Nice.
all right, let's start with ROM number 1 from December 1979. Arrival. Writers Bill Mantlo and Jim Shooter. Pencilers Sal Buscema and John Romita Jr. Inkers Sal Buscema and Marie Severin. Colors Bob Sharon. Letterer Tom Orzowski. And editor Joe Duffy. Rom arrives on Earth and encounters Brandy Clark for the first time, saving her from a car crash on the highway. Rom arrives in the town of Clairton, West Virginia, ahead of Brandy, and banishes a number of wraiths, sending the populace into a panic. Wraiths embedded into the community contact superiors who send a National Guard to deal with Rom, but they lack the ability to hurt the Space Knight. All right, so, all right, Mr. Justin, you've read this before. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, unfortunately, that synopsis glossed over a lot of important stuff in the story, such as the legend of the Space Knights, which was one of the things that I loved the most about this issue. We get, like halfway into the issue, we get a great origin story of essentially this planet called Galador and how they were enmeshed in this long and bitter war against a race called the Dire Wraiths, who are from a place called the Dark Nebula. And they have the ability to utilize both sorcery and science, which makes them doubly deadly. And so the Galadorians developed the Space Knights to combat them. And that was where Rom came into play. And he essentially tracked a sect of the Dire Wraiths that had made it to Earth and had insinuated themselves among the populace in several high-ranking positions, as Phil and I will uncover in the in the subsequent issues to come. But Rom has tracked them to Earth, and that's where he encounters Brandy and all that type of stuff, Brandy Clark. And it appears when Rom he summons his neutralizer, and when he finds the Dire Wraiths, he has a couple of different tools at his disposal. He can use his analyzer to make sure if they are actually human or Dire Wraith, and then he can pop in his neutralizer just in the instance that they are in fact a Dire Wraith, which the beam sends them to limbo, and it looks like it kills them. So for the humans who see this, it looks like he's murdering these humans in cold blood. So right off the bat, Rom has just made a whole bunch of enemies because it looks like he's just murdered these two guys in cold blood in front of everybody.
Yes, basically he's only banishing them to limbo, which was what I thought West Virginia was.
It's a worse limbo than that, even.
It's like, hey, are those Dire Wraiths?
Howdy, y'all!
Are you here? Are you here to dominate this world?
I spend too much money on tobacco and Mountain Dew.
So good.
But yeah, and then I don't know this. Did it say something in the introduction about so the Wraiths like change their forms? Are they? Did it say something like they're related to the Skrulls somehow?
We'll discover that much later on.
Oh.
Actually, I think it's issue 50. We see the Skrulls and the Dire Wraiths come face to face, and it's not pretty. But yeah, it is implied that there's some type of shared genetic inheritance amongst the two races. Yeah.
But again, I know Rom's an alien, but it just seems so weird where he's just like, well, why are you panicking? Even though he just like shows up and appears to just be like gunning down certain people. It's just like,
Yeah.
why are you nervous? Why don't you trust me?
Well, this is a theme too that will be explored throughout the course of the Rom series. Really, is that he struggles with being in this machine body. He's essentially his mind, his consciousness is within this cyborg body.
Locked in this suit of armor. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been that for so long that his humanity has started to kind of ebb away.
Mm-hmm.
So he in the beginning of this series, especially, he views things in a very kind of cold, robotic manner. Like he's just a machine that's out to kill the Dire Wraiths, and that's it. But as the series progresses, we see more of his humanity gradually coming back.
Yeah, that's a new thing I learned this time. I'm like, so he's been locked in this for 200 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how long he's been fighting these things. It's been a long and arduous battle, which has led him all over the cosmos. He's traveled all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My silver character, he came from an alien planet to help humanity. Where have I heard this before?
But he doesn't have a neutralizer.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. It's a crucial difference there.
I mean, I know it was part of the toy, like the light up eyes and stuff, but I do like the image of the like the red eyes glowing through that slit in the helmet. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah. It's very, very striking the first time you see it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's probably called credit to the art because, again, I mean, this is Sal Buscema in his prime.
Yeah.
But just, I'm like, they kind of have to go by what the toy gives them, but it's like, yeah, but it still looks, I mean, it looks good. It's not like it's.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really good. And you'll see too, Phil, as we progress in this series, that the look of Rom changes a little bit from this first issue.
Oh, okay.
Like the eyes a little bit and the coloration. I don't know in the Romnibus if they did a little bit with the colors, but in the actual issue that I have, he looks a lot more gray in this.
Mm-hmm.
And in subsequent issues, it's pretty much just all silver.
Yeah, and again too, you really notice it like in that Transformers series Marvel did. It's like, again, like sometimes in the beginning they're really heavy with like what's the toy look like, or sometimes I think they even do like the first couple issues before they even see the toy, and they just get like the draw, like the sketches and stuff, and then eventually
sketch from the toy company.
Yeah, the art evolves, the whatever they need.
Yeah.
I smell that omnibus paper.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Hey, kids, this is my drug.
Yeah, I've got the old comic book smell.
Oh, old comic books have their own smell too. Yeah,
that's good stuff. Yeah,
that old paper back in the day. Oh
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this first one's good. I mean, we get Rom's arrival on Earth. He immediately starts dispatching wraiths, and then we kind of get the with him telling Brandy the origin of the Space Knights, and how Galador created this defense.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot of setup in this first issue, admittedly. I mean, there's really not a lot of consequence that happens beyond this, beyond the meeting with Brandy, the fact that Rom neutralizes a couple of the Dire Wraiths, which had taken the place of these two guys in Clairton. And then the National Guard gets called in, and there's a huge battle there.
Well, I kind of like that plot point where it's like the Wraiths are just like, because the mayor's trying to call them in, and then they're just like, no, block that, no, we'll send that, we'll make sure some of our people are there, and
Yes, yeah, they're trying to make sure that Rom doesn't get outside of Clairton,
because the first issue is a lot of setup, but again, they kind of let Sal show off, with Rom battling the National Guard and stuff.
Yeah. I love that part. The battle was great. And then you have a soldier who is actually one of the Dire Wraiths who has a blaster,
Yes.
which is the only thing that's able to do any damage to Rom. And then he promptly neutralizes the soldier, and it makes it look like he's just killed this guy.
And I love the Wraiths almost every time. They're like, no, death is preferable to eternal banishment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. In the back of the first issue, too, they had an ad for the actual toy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. And they with a little ad for the comic book in the corner.
Oh, I'm sure that was quite intentional. I'm sure there was stuff before the first page was drawn. They're like, oh yeah, you're gonna put an ad in that first issue.
Yeah.
So yeah, since Rom was like the only figure in that line, it's like, did that toy last long in stores, or
I don't think it did.
I was gonna say
I
the
feel like
comic probably lasted a lot longer than that toy.
It did. Yeah, I feel like the toy was only around for maybe a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this lasted like almost 8 years.
I mean, 75. I mean, that's almost as long as that Transformers series.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Then G.I. Joe went like, what, 155?
Still going, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean, companies like 3 times.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's God. That's that G.I. Joe series. How many iterations of the toys have that? I think at this point, though, Larry Hall was probably thankful, because I think they're at the point now where he doesn't have to add characters as they add toys.
Yes.
All right. So, but yeah, I just wonder if, like, I mean, again, Sal was such a great artist, but were they like, we have a character who's going to battle like military in the first issue. Who should we get? How about we get the Hulk guy? Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, he delivered with flying colors. Good old Sal. Yeah, he delivers some excellent art in this series, in the beginning and just throughout. And he has a variety of inkers that work with him throughout the series that complement his artwork in various ways. So cool.
Gonna right cross you right in the limbo.
That's right. Right into outer space.
All right. So should we get to the next one?
Yeah.
All right. Rom number 2 from January 1980. Second coming.
Oh my.
Oh my. There was. In other words, a very good date. Oh, shut up. You were thinking about it before I even said it.
Of course I was.
Oh, that's naughty.
You know it.
Writer Bill Mantlo, penciler and inker Sal Buscema, colors Glennis Ween, letterer John Costanza, and editor Joe Duffy. Oh boy. Rom interrupts a gang of thieves led by Archie Stryker as they break into the Laserium Corporation. The gang had kidnapped the manager, who was in fact a Dire Wraith. Rom banishes the Wraith to limbo, but Stryker believes he was a human that Rom mercilessly killed. Okay, that's random. Now I'm just looking at the notes here. In the first few issues of Rom, Brandy's father is stated to be John, but in later issues, his first name is repeatedly stated as Jonathan.
Oh, that is random.
Although Clarendon was described as a small city with a population of 14,000 in Rom number 1, beginning in this issue, it is downsized to being a village.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, half of them are in limbo. What do you want?
Right. Half of them are Dire Wraiths. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right. Some of the Dire Wraiths weren't named until next issue. Okay, whatever. All right. All right. Thoughts, Justin?
Number 2, I like this one, except for the part, and just because I'm an animal lover, when Brandy's poor dog gets shot at the end, when the the soldiers. Actually, I think they're cops. I think they're police, or maybe like a SWAT team or something. It looks like. They come to Brandy's house.
Yeah.
Outside the gazebo, where she's just kind of having a chat with Rom, and there's Tempest, Brandy's dog, who looks like a German Shepherd, and unfortunately, poor little Tempest is right in the line of fire as these guys are opening fire on Rom and gets shot. Whenever that part comes up, oh, poor little Tempest.
I know. I was like, really? Do we have to go there? I mean, I get we don't want to kill off like any of these characters, but I'm just like, can't somebody just like get grazed in the arm or something? Or
I know. This series admittedly does get pretty heavy at times, which is surprising for the subject matter, like a kid's toy comic series, like getting to these levels of heaviness, but it does go there.
Well, remember, Batman Returns, he had Happy Meal toys, so.
Oh, true. That's true.
Batman, my favorite character.
Happy birthday, Ray.
That's true.
Oh, hello, Noel.
I know.
Rom!
Yeah, I think Noel has a soft spot for Rom too.
But again, yeah, I mean, if nothing else, that's Sal Buscema art. Come on.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
good.
Sal is prime.
Yeah. Prime. He's inking his own pencils in this, which is always a good combo. And yeah, I love the part in the laserium when all the ray blasts are pegging Rom.
Lazy.
And he it doesn't even phase him. He's just getting blasted over and over by these lasers, and he just flies right out. It's great.
And I love how like they embed in the Marvel universe, because one of the Wraiths in like this group here is like a member of Shield.
Yes. One's in the I think in the Senate too.
Yeah, but I'm just like, they could have went with just like some random like military general or something. But yeah, they went with an agent of Shield.
Shield, yeah, so cool.
Noel says, I do. I love those books and hate myself for trashing them as a kid.
Oh, trashing them. Oh.
I said the books were so much cooler than the toy. Well, that's what we just said. No, I mean, the comics lasted way longer than that toy.
Yeah, the comics are great.
But yes, as we said, the omnibus is out.
Yes. Now, Noel, you can relive them all over again.
That's right,
Noel.
They're gonna. I think they said they're going to be doing 3 volumes. The first volume is out. Yes.
Yeah, 3 volumes should collect the entire series and all the annuals and all the other stuff. Yeah.
So I wonder, are they going to do all the? I mean, there is a Power Man and Iron Fist issue in this one. I wonder if are they going to do all the? It sounded like they're going to collect all the guest appearances. So
I think they are. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk issue and
X-Men.
Yeah. Yep. I bet we will see all that.
No, I wish there were smaller trades, honestly. Well, I mean,
maybe they'll get there eventually. If these do well, they might.
No, it's hard to read those big ass books. I know. You have to like put it on a table or your lap or something and just like kind of flip through it. Yeah,
it's like lifting weights while you're reading at the same time.
Oh.
What did you think of this one, Phil?
I liked it. I still giggle laserium.
Laserium, I know. Lethal laserium.
But I was like, Archie Striker. I'm like, is that just like a random? I'm like, does that name sound familiar? Or was there a Striker in some other story? I'm like, why does that sound familiar?
Oh, Striker was an X-Men, wasn't he?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
The dude whose son was
Oh yeah.
That they adapted for X2.
Yeah.
I thought that wasn't that guy's name Striker, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I swear I read something else. There was a Striker, but I guess it wasn't Archie.
There might be some other Strikers too. It's a very comic book name, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Striker.
Yeah, so I just looked at the link on here. Yeah, that's his only appearances are in ROM. So yes, this
yeah.
Yeah, X-Men, and then from that original. Oh yeah. But yeah, I don't know if they did them yet or if they're upcoming. I think they're doing a bunch of variant covers for a bunch of the Marvel books coming out where it's going to be ROM variants. Because I think I saw the
Ooh.
Spider-Man in ROM 1. Of course, I think there's going to be an X-Men in ROM 1.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're all.
I wonder if they're working on bringing him back into the new stuff.
I wonder because it's so weird because I mean a few years ago, I mean they got the rights back to Conan and they they had the Savage Avengers book and stuff. And then they kind of let it slip again and he's gone again.
Oh.
So I don't know
Weird.
unless they test the waters to see if it's popular, if it's
maybe they're waiting to see how these omnibus editions go.
Maybe
if they sell really well, they'll be like, well, it seems like there's enough of an appetite for Rom. Let's put him in Guardians of the Galaxy or something for a while and see how that goes.
I mean, Rom would. I mean, as much as as awesome as Conan is, I think Rom kind of fits in more with the larger Marvel universe than Conan.
I think so too, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, God loves man kills. I forget. Oh, is Rom in that?
No. That's the X-Men one.
Oh, Stryker. Yeah, I think he was the anti-mutant religious. Yeah. And then, like we said, he was in the movies. He was kind of the guy behind the whole Weapon X thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Brian Cox played him, I think, if I remember right. It's been a while since I watched that movie.
Who?
Brian Cox.
Justin and Lil's favorite actor. Oh, yes, Noel. Rom versus Ultron.
Ooh, now that is a battle I want to see.
Yeah, can you imagine Ultron trying to take over that armor? Oh,
yeah, or trying to assimilate it into his own technology. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we need to see that.
Like Bendis plan. Bendis plan. Wait, what?
I bet if the rights for Rom had been in under Marvel's umbrella at the time of Bendis, he would have been all over that.
Screw you, Noel. You just got me to show enthusiasm for a Bendis idea.
Bendis.
But I wonder, if they bring. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how they bring Rom back into the larger Marvel universe if they do, because I mean, he doesn't have that mission anymore with the Dire Wraiths unless they bring them back too.
Well, they possibly could, yeah. Because we haven't seen a shape-shifting menace in the same level as the Skrulls for a while, right? Like they haven't done any secret invasion type of stuff for the Skrulls in a hot minute.
Oh no, here we go. Wraith Skrull War. I see it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You think Secret Invasion was oh, can you imagine? 2 alien shape-shifting races.
Secret Invasion 2. This time it's personal. Yeah.
This time more changing. Oh God. More changing appearances than a plastic surgeon in Los Angeles. Oh.
They should take up permanent residency in Hollywood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that give them ideas. Bendis had mentioned the Space Knights and wanted to use the concept, but had it be Ultron instead or something. Well, yeah, of course, of course, there's going to be something weird.
Yeah, that fits.
Oh no, what was that? Was that Mighty Avengers? Was that Bendis? Yeah, where it's like there was an Ultron story in the beginning of that where he basically appeared as like a naked Janet Van Dyne or something. Yeah, okay,
oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Ew.
I know. I know. Every so often you block out some of that Bendis stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
Like his entire Moon Knight run.
Yeah. That I try to forget as much as possible. And I'll never forget that Avengers versus X-Men debacle with the Red Hulk giving like this army kind of commando guerrilla chat to their Avengers before they were jumping out of a helicopter. I was like, what am I reading? What is this?
And Tony Stark was adopted.
Yeah.
They never
adopted.
They've never really turned that around, but they really don't mention it. So I'm wondering if they're just waiting like a decade or so for people to forget that, and then just like, oh no, that's always
It's adopted.
Oh.
And his real dad is Mephisto.
Oh yeah, then Jason Aaron's Avengers wasn't Howard Stark working with Mephisto? Oh god.
Oh God, yeah. I just
Noel asks, who should write a modern ROM?
that's a good question. Ron Mars would do a great job.
Oh
He
yeah,
does a great job with any
Cosmic
cosmic
Rider.
stuff. So,
How about Peter David? You know, he'd be bring Rick Jones back.
Totally. Yeah, he would definitely get the voice of Rom right.
Maybe Jed McKay.
Yeah, he could definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, we'll have to have him work overtime, do another monthly book. He's already got like 5 going now, I think.
D.G. Chichester.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think he'd have an interest in writing some ROM?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean,
possible.
I don't know if Marvel has him on the hook for anything after Black Armor, so come on.
Yes. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah, he could do it. Oh, Noel said Chip Zdarsky.
Okay. Interesting.
I could see that. Trying to think. I swear, I'm probably missing somebody, but who could? Who's right? Who could write a good cosmic? I don't know. Oh, of course. I mean, all-time greatest hit. One of the all-time greatest hitters, J.M. DeMatteis.
Oh, definitely. Actually, he would write an amazing ROM story.
Oh yeah,
like a miniseries or something. Yeah,
he loves that psychological stuff. I mean, getting into the psychology of a guy's been locked in armor for 200 years. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Although I know, yeah, things may change by the end of the series, but again, that's the thing. Spoilers. I mean, doesn't he get out of the armor by the end of this?
Well, kind of, sort of.
Because that's the other thing. You'd have to write a story where he has to get back in that, you know.
There is a little bit of a happy ending at the very end, but there's some other kind of red herring stuff that happened throughout the series that I won't spoil for you. But
Cole says you guys have only mentioned old guys. Ha ha. The podcast for me.
You know it.
Well, I mean, look who's here.
Biscuits for me.
Podcast for me. All right. All right. So, any other thoughts on 2, or should we jump?
No, I think let's move on to Firefall.
Is that? Oh wait. Is that 3 or 4? Let's see. No. Oh yeah, Firefall. And yes, ROM number 3 from February 1980. Firefall. Writer Bill Mantlo again. Yeah, again, penciler and inker Sal Buscema, colorist Ben Shawn this time. Letterers Warshawski still, and editor still Joe Duffy.
And another great cover by Frank Miller.
Oh, who? Your mother's a whore. Oh yeah,
it's actually one of my favorite ROM covers. I love it.
Says he misses Mantlo. Yeah,
I do too.
I enjoy it. I'm trying to remember.
When I first heard what happened to Bill Mantlo,
Yeah.
I wept like a baby. I was so distraught by that.
Like I loved his Hulk. Wasn't he Alpha Flight for a while? Yeah.
Hulk, Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yes.
ROM, Micronauts, like Spider-Man, like just so much. He wrote so much, and it was all good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This one, Archie Stryker is used by Dire Wraiths embedded in Project Safeguard to battle ROM. Brandy Clark is kidnapped by Wraiths disguised as federal agents. Steve Jackson witnesses the kidnapping and follows them. In the mines beneath Clareton, ROM discovers the Wraiths building an interdimensional transporter meant to free their trapped brethren from limbo and begins destroying it. As the battle ensues, he is confronted by Archie Stryker in the Firefall armor.
Yes.
All right. So,
yeah, what did you think of this one, Phil?
I mean, I like this. I mean, yeah, we're getting down to it, the Wraiths are not only like plotting to take over Earth. Now they're like trying to free everybody. Rom sent to limbo.
Basically, undo 200 years worth of his work.
Him and the other Space Knights have that too, right? They can banish Wraiths to limbo, right?
Well, some of them have other powers that are a little bit more deadly.
Oh.
Some of them don't mess around. Some of them are just out to kill. Yeah.
But yeah, just the I love the Wraiths in the beginning. They're like, I'm like, I guess he's just angry enough, and he's not thinking clearly. But like Archie Stryker doesn't question. Oh yeah, these guys are gonna like let me take this armor and battle Rom and stuff.
Right. Just this random dude, yeah. Well, they do make him run through that gauntlet in the beginning. Yes. They do make him at least test his mettle so that they're a little bit more confident that he'll do a good job wearing the armor. I suppose there is that.
Because yes, as we learned, Stryker was an army vet. Was it Korea? Korea. 53. So I would assume that's a sliding time reference, kids.
We'll just say it was overseas. He was in battle overseas. Yes. Yeah.
So I was going to say not Vietnam, but I guess this was too recent after Vietnam. So I'm just like, I guess not.
You wanted to add a little bit more distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I read his name, I read it in Peter Griffin's voice, Archie Stryker. Archie Stryker.
Very popular reference. Yeah. My son's been falling down the. He's been watching Family Guy recently, so. So we'll just like in the mornings when he's getting on the school bus. I'll I'm already at work. I'll send him like gifts and stuff of like Family Guy. Just like here's Peter fighting the giant chicken, or. But we both agree Stewie and Brian are the best. So
yes, absolutely.
Yes, and then we kind of get like we get the whole recap flashback, Rom coming to Earth and meeting Brandy, and then we kind of get a quickie flashback of the origin again.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just do this.
I think that they wanted to do that a lot in the first few issues, just in case somebody was like jumping on brand new. They could be like, who is this Rom person, in case they had that question.
I'm surprised. Like, remember, like back around this era, like it was Spider-Man and the Hulk. They're like, "Oh, Marvel's TV sensation would be on the cover." And stuff. I'm surprised.
Marvel's TV sensation.
I'm surprised it was like the hot new toy, Rom.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the whole Stryker test, and like, here's this armor.
Here's this armor, and don't be afraid of it. You can climb into it, even though it's burning hot. That was another thing that always made me laugh about this.
And I guess
it doesn't look like it's particularly safe to climb into.
I know, and I guess they counted on like his anger and just his anger towards Rom. And I'm just like, yeah. Don't let him know you're Dire Wraiths, because couldn't he easily turn that armor on you?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah, it is funny.
But yes, the Wraiths have this whole giant compound in this mine beneath the town. Giant satellite dish.
I love the part where the dude drives the little truck thing at Rom, and he just catches it with one hand, and then with the other hand he lifts it up in the air and neutralizes him.
And then throws the cart at the satellite dish. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
They're all just like, flee,
run for your lives.
Oh, I love that because when Rom hits that, it creates a whole big power surge, because we see I love the guy. What's wrong with our TV? And the daughter, it looks like outside interference, Daddy. Like, oh, this kid, you realize this kid has outside interference.
And the woman, static. I know now. Will I find out if the girls are playing bridge tonight?
I don't want that corded phone yet.
Oh my God.
And the other woman literally says, "Eek, my new microwave oven." Eek.
Eek.
And then still, what do you think of Steve in these? Steve Jackson.
Oh yeah, he's a bit of a jerk in the beginning of this. Yeah.
I
He
guess
has a kind of an almost irrational hatred for Rom in the beginning.
well, I mean, one, he's still under the impression Rom's a menace, but two, I think he's kind of like, is he trying to make time with my girl?
Well, I mean, there is a bit of a jealousy factor that goes in there, yeah. But I'm of the opinion that Steve takes a little bit over the top.
Well, yeah. Then, like you said, this is like the first cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when Firefall shows up at the end, starts blasting Rom.
Yep.
He's like, no, this fire is of unearthly origin. You know,
It's something that actually causes him pain,
Mm,
which we haven't really seen yet, other than the in the first issue when the soldier with the wraith gun blasted Rom.
mhm.
There hasn't been anything that's really caused him any pain until now, until Firefall shows up.
And then, yeah, I mean, we'll get into it more next issue, but yeah, at the end of this, Rom he's like, Karis, is that you?
Yeah, it's almost like he recognizes the armor.
Yes,
It's because he does.
yes, we'll find out. Yes. Oh, is this in the issue? Because I know after that last page of 3, they put in a Marvel pinup.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's in that one. Yeah, that's a gorgeous one.
that's the other thing I like with some of these, because I'm assuming the first ones didn't have it. They reprinted the letters pages in some of the.
Oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that with the original Captain Marvel one from the 60s.
Oh yeah,
I was happy about that. Yeah.
because I got can't remember if they did it in the She-Hulk one, because I got the one for the original one, She-Hulk, and then but like the Eternals one, they did that too, like the original Jack
Cool.
Kirby Eternal stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. I like that when they do that.
Mm. Yep.
Nice.
They even got the checklist at the bottom.
Oh, I love it. And the old bullpen bulletins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even the little next issue box.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Right. I'm like, what is this? That's like there's like they're gonna fill in.
Oh,
They put that. I'm like, what is that? Go in the limbo?
that's what the Dire Wraith sees. That's the point of view of the Dire Wraith after it gets blasted by Rom's neutralizer.
I don't know if he gets any later on, but Rom needs like a catch for he needs some kind of like back talk. He needs to be like, yeah, go rot, Nate, go rot.
Have fun in limbo.
All right, are we ready for the number 4?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is I like this cover. Yeah, this is Al Milgram cover.
Nice, yeah.
Rom number 4, March 1980. The Fire, the Friend, and the Foe.
Say that 5 times fast.
Exactly. Looks like same team as last issue. Rom battles Archie Striker / Firefall. Brandy realizes that something is wrong with the agents and is knocked unconscious. Steve also realizes something is wrong and pulls alongside of the car. One of the Wraith's federal agents attempts to shoot Steve, but is pushed out of the car by Brandy, who had only been feigning being unconscious. Brandy grabs the wheel of the car, causing it to skid out of control and crash. As Steve approaches the crash site, he sees what he thought was a federal agent die and turn to ash, just like the ones Rom supposedly killed, and realizes that Rom and Brandy have been telling the truth. As the two armored warriors break apart, Rom tells Stryker of his friend Karis, who was the original Firefall, and that he is not wearing the armor, but has been genetically grafted to it. Stryker doesn't believe Rom. The battle continues and Rom defeats Stryker, severely damaging the Firefall armor. Stryker realizes that he cannot remove the damaged armor and that Rom has been telling the truth. All right. You know what? As I was reading this, it popped back into my head what bothers me so much about Steve. Is it just? I think it's a few times. He's like, "Oh, that Brandy acting all independent woman." He's like, "I'm sick of that."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like, yeah. God forbid she has a independent thought, dude.
Yeah. I mean, this was 45 years ago, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, even then, women were independent and could do things for themselves and didn't need a man to do it all. So I don't.
I'm like,
Yeah, that's another thing I don't like about
yeah.
Steve. It's just the way he's written in this beginning stuff is.
Want to be like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they can vote, have jobs, and be superheroes now.
Yeah, exactly. And much more than that. Yeah. This was actually my favorite issue of these first four, though. I love the fight between Firefall and Rom. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, because I mean, of these four, Rom's finally facing an opponent who's kind of on his level because Stryker has that armor.
Yeah, a fellow Space Knight's armor, and I really liked that how we had a flashback to Rom and Karis when they were both humanoid before they were turned into Space Knights. You see a piece where there was a life debt back on Galador that took place.
Yeah, because I don't know if they're going to do a lot of flashbacks going forward. Because again, I haven't read these, but it's just like I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Because I'm like, he has 200 years of backstory, so
Yeah, they do delve a little bit, like especially in the annuals. There's a couple of annuals that talk about his exploits in the past, which are really cool. But yeah, this is one of the first times that we see that a flashback to when Rom was a human being before he was grafted into the armor. And the fact that he's fighting kind of one of his own people almost by default, at least the technology of Karis, but has to grapple with the fact that his friend, whom he owed the life debt to in the first place, is dead for all intents and purposes.
Well, yeah, because he's like, the only way you could have got him out of that armor, unless it was the Galadorians, is the race would have had to kill him.
Yeah. So he has to deal with that fact, in addition to the fact that he's this dude, Archie Stryker, is trying to mercilessly destroy him with his murdered friend's armor. Yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff.
I love Steve's like, oh, they're firing some kind of heat ray at me. They must be aliens. I'm like, how the race been using heat rays since issue 1? I'm like, all of a sudden notice.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the fact that the gun is like a bright magenta color might tip off the fact that it's not of earthly design. You
would
know,
think, yeah,
little things like that.
But again, great art. I love that first page splash.
Yeah, so good, right? Yeah.
Oh man,
And after that,
all this for 40 cents, kids.
for 40 cents. Yeah, in 1980. Man. Yeah, and during the battle when I love that panel when Firefall creates kind of like that big meteor out of flame and just hurls it at Rom with full force. It's so cool.
Oh, there's almost your Sal Buscema right cross.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
When Firefall just down to the ground.
And he goes flying into the earth.
And then all those wraiths in human form come charging out of the mine, and Rom's just like, yeah, since
well,
Rom goes, since they announced what they are already, I don't know if it's again, I'm just gonna blast them.
He's like, I guess you guys want a one-way trip to Limbo. All right, here it is. Yeah, but great action in this issue. Great artwork, great action, great pacing of everything. It kept it moving right along to the end.
Yeah, because you got the car chase, you got the battle, Firefall, yeah. And still flashbacks.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was my favorite part of this issue was the flashback to Galador. When Rom was drowning and Karis jumped in and hauled him out of the river.
Yeah. I mean, it's I kind of saw that, yeah, Archie Striker is going to be back, but I'm just like, again, it mentioned like Rom damaged the armor. I'm like, if you do enough damage to that armor, is not going to kill the person inside if you're like genetically grafted to it?
Potentially. Yeah. Yeah, because he is, for all intents and purposes, a cyborg now.
Yeah, because I'm like, even Dr. Octopus, I mean, like, the one time Spider-Man rips those metal arms off, he felt the pain.
Oh, yeah. Right. It was like he ripped his actual arms and
Yeah,
legs
I was
up.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
felt it.
Yeah, we will see more of Archie Striker in the issues to come.
Yeah, I saw. I think it's at least through 11 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He will appear again.
All right. Yeah, I love they printed those letters pages. I love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm glad that they do that.
Mhm. I wonder, probably not, because it's like, oh, if you send a letter to Marvel back in the day, it's probably like, oh yeah, we have the right to run it wherever we want. But I'm just like, because I'm sure they didn't track down these people 45 years later and be like, oh hey, can we reprint
Do you
your
mind-
letter that you originally wrote into ROM in 19?
Yeah, 45 years ago. Do you
Yeah.
mind? Yeah.
So I'm
No,
assuming it's a legal
yeah,
thing. It's like, oh yeah, if you send in, that's basically, yeah,
they own it.
you
Yeah,
consented to let us
Yeah.
use the letter, however.
Sometimes though it's funny because there will be like future writers and artists that go on to work at Marvel that write into the letters pages. It happens from time to time, and it's so cool when you see that happen. Yeah.
Or that'd be cool if you wrote in like all those years ago and you're like, there's my letter, or I mean, at this point it could be like, oh, there's my dad's letter he wrote when he was a kid.
I've got a couple of letters published out there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, Noel was upset that he trashed his old ROM comics. I think my dad had like the original first couple Spider-Man issues, Avengers, and
Oh wow.
I don't know if he got rid of I don't know if he got rid of them or his mother, but I'm just like, God damn it.
Oh, the number ones. Oh.
Yeah, like I think he was probably in there like the first year or so. I'm like, oh my
Oh my
God.
Wow, that's like the Holy Grail. Jeez.
Oh,
That's like throwing the Holy Grail out with the trash.
I
Yeah.
know.
Oh.
But again, they never knew it. They didn't know what they had at the time.
Yeah. If they only knew. Yeah. Well, what did you think of these, Phil? Well, this was your first time reading these. What did you think? Were you entertained? Did you like it? Did you?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
enjoyed these so far. Yeah. I'm
good.
eager to read the rest of them.
Nice. Yeah. They are a little dated in places, like we were talking about with Steve's treatment of Brandy, and just little bits and pieces of the dialogue just haven't really held up over
Yeah.
over the last 45 years, which is kind of to be expected from some medium sources, but I think it's still entertaining and fun.
Oh yeah.
It holds up well. Yeah.
And again, like, I mean, not to keep beating the point home, but just like with the Transformers and GI Joe series Marvel did, it's like I think they were doing some good work with these toy lines where it basically could have just been a throwaway thing.
Yeah, it wasn't just simple mindless stuff for kids.
Yeah.
That was meant to appeal to kids, to get them out to go out and buy toys. It wasn't simply only that.
Yeah.
There was actually some substance behind it, which you wouldn't expect. I mean, that Transformers series used to surprise me all the time with some of the stories that they did and some of the things that they did in that series. Yeah, it was always entertaining.
Like that episode you, me, and Russell did. I mean, that one issue, it's just Megatron and some gangster.
I know, yeah. Some random guy who suddenly thinks that he's king of the hill because he's got this this special weapon all of a sudden.
I know. Like I said,
or that other story where they had like those little termite things that were eating
the
Autobots.
scraplets, yeah.
Little scraplets, yeah. Little things like that. Like, I was always surprised by that series. It was great.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was at least a year or two there. I mean, in the Transformers series, there was no Optimus Prime, Megatron, or Starscream.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I said it. Like you were saying, there was substance there. It wasn't just like a 20-some page advertisement every month.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hey,
20-page toy ad. Yeah. Or just mindless battles between Autobots and Decepticons.
Oh, there.
Or in the case of Rom, mindless battles between Rom and the Dire Wraiths for 22 pages an issue. How boring would that have gotten after 2 or 3 years?
Well, that's like I think the Transformers and GI Joe comics from Marvel at that time they were more substance than even the animated series.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, there you go, Rom animated series.
Oh yeah. I dare to believe it can happen. I mean, if I never even thought that. Well, I always hoped that one day Marvel would get the rights back to Rom,
Yeah.
but it was looking kind of despairingly for a while there. I thought, wow, is this actually going to happen in my lifetime or not? But they finally got it hashed out, and finally we get the first of 3 Romnibuses. So I think the sky's the limit. I think
Russell hit it on the head. All right, who should do a new Rom series? Al Ewing.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
good choice.
Yes, very good choice. Yeah,
Yes,
he even did a Guardians of the Galaxy series. So yeah.
I read a little bit of that, and that was good.
Yeah, Mortal
really
Hall Mortal Hall. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, he would do an excellent Rom. Good choice, Russell.
Yeah, because his Immortal Thor right now is not bad. It's pretty good.
I gotta read some of that. Was it good? Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I think. Yeah, I mean, I could talk forever about Rom. You know that he's one of my all-time favorites. In fact, this series is probably my top 10. I love it that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've read the whole thing so many times, and it's such a. It goes back to the beginning of when I first fell in love with comic books, so there's a little sentimentality there, but I think it still holds up. It's still a great series, made by some really talented people, and it's got some great stories in it.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Again, yeah, stuff you first read when you're younger, it always sticks with you. That's why I love the Transformer stuff, because that's pretty much the first comic book I read was those Transformers.
Definitely. That was kind of like with you. Yeah, that stuff stays with you forever, and it kind of sets the template for what you like, for the things that appeal to you in the rest of your life. It's like it checks off all the boxes, of the things that make you happy about comic books or things in general. Yeah.
Well, like you're another proof for me where I said some of these toy tie-in comics, man, they were like gateway drugs, because Raw for you, Transformers for me. It's like, okay, you start reading those, and it's like, oh, well, what else is there?
What else is there? Yeah,
pretty much jumped from Transformers and GI Joe to like Spider-Man, because I'm like, oh, okay, I watched Spider-Man His Amazing Friends. I'll give the Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. You were familiar with the character, yeah.
And then I start reading Spider-Man at 10 years old, and it's in the middle of Inferno.
Oh, yeah. Things are about to get really crazy really quickly.
Demons and Green Goblin versus Hobgoblin.
Buildings coming to life.
Yes.
Yeah. Inferno was a wild time.
All right, kids. But yes, next episode, we're going to, like I said, keep the ROM train going, because we're going to do the next 4 issues, ROM 5 through 8.
I'm excited about that.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I read 5 already, so I think Rom kind of runs into his first piece, his first piece of the greater Marvel universe. A
little bit, yeah.
All right, so yes, send us your thoughts on ROM in general. Send them your thoughts on ROM, these first 4 issues of ROM, or ROM 5 through 8 coming up next time. Did you get the omnibus? Which cover did you get? Who should write a new ROM series?
Yes, let us know all your ROM thoughts.
Yes, did you get the George Perez cover for your omnibus like Justin, or did you get the Frank Miller like I got? Your mother's a whore.
Also, do you have the original ROM action figure? If you do, send us pictures. I want to see it.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Or the original comics. Oh, I gotta reach out to Rob Southgate. I think he had all that stuff, but
oh really? Yeah.
See if he still has it. Yeah,
nice.
I think he had it in storage for a while. All right, so send us your thoughts, kids. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Send us some feedback. You might win some free comics or some merch. I got some stuff.
Hmm.
And of course, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise, the Patreon, because again, 2024, I promise that I've delivered. It has been
More vicious and brutal than ever.
well, Wilson Bell. All right, so find everything at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
I'm going to eat this up with a fork and spoon.
All right. Owl Knight himself, Justin the Owl. Yes, you can hear him here every week on Marvel Tales. You can hear him on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast, twice a month with me and Justin. You can hear him once a month on shows like We Are the Night,
The Batman podcast.
Talking Azrael. We're on the Azrael solo series right now, and also on Energon Universe, both of those with me, Justin, and Russell. Energon Universe, where we'll talk the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content coming from Image. I guess this is going to be the official announcement. Yes, we are starting another show, X-Men Classics, which, kids, all right, good news, bad news. Some weeks you may not get Marvel Tales, but if you don't, you will get a X-Men Classics with me and Justin. And there are occasions where you may get both. So
yes,
in a week. So yes, stay tuned for that. Well, we're going to be recording the first episode after this, but yes, it is coming. Oh, I think that's going to drop before this. So yes, go check out X-Men Classics #1. But where else? Okay, King of Podcasting. Where else?
If that isn't enough, you can also find me at Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, which I host with my pal Russell. And that is 3 times a month. We talk about the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk. And we have a Patreon, so do check that out. We also co-host with our pal, the High Priest of Khonshu Ray, and fellow Predator fan, Predator and Prey, the Yocha podcast, which is twice a month. We're covering both the new Predator comics from Marvel and some of the classic stuff from Dark Horse. And Russell and I co-host Gone the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast, which is all about DC's Demon, the classic series from Jack Kirby, which we are covering in its entirety. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends is my solo project, and by the time that this episode comes out in February, I will have just completed a spotlight on an Impact Comics title called The Jaguar from 1991.
I love it. Going back to the 90s here, bitch.
Tap, tap, tapping my way downtown.
Will he slow down on podcasting anytime, kids?
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like it.
No. That's right. All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. It's been me, Phil, and
it's me, your old pal, the Owl.
All right, kids. Yes, thank you for joining us. Next week, more Rom 5 through 8. So keep your omnibuses handy.
Yes.
And again, keep your eye out for that classic X-Men #1. It'll be out there. All right. So yes, join us next time. Keep your analyzers and your disintegrators handy. Hold on to your omnibuses.